I have definitely been there when I've binge eaten so much on an evening, feeling like absolutely numb. It was a way for me to escape. If anything, I didn't like during the day. I just stuffed my face at night. I didn't really want to think about anything else. I just wanted to eat, and then you feel so crap when you do it. I've been there so many times, so many times. So I'm going to share with you some awesome tips that are going to help you to stop binge eating, to stop overeating on a nighttime and sabotage all your efforts of weight loss and your dream body to feel confident and sexy. The feeling you get, that liberation when you stop snacking all the time on an evening and stop overeating. It's true freedom when you do that. And I've done that through these tips that I look back now and I think, okay, what really has helped me on my journey to stop this self-sabotaging, which I always did. I was a severe binge eater, as most of you know. I ate so much in my binge episodes, and then I would restrict and binge and restrict. Yeah, it's not a healthy and it's just not a great place to be. It takes over your life. And I feel it. I know many of us, especially women, we know how food can control us. So my number one tip is you've got to really eat enough during the day. Daytime is where you want to get your fuel. Don't leave it all day to eat, because that's where we start to overeat on an evening. So make sure you're eating plenty in the daytime, especially if you're eating raw foods or high raw. They're not as dense as junk food, as cooked foods, because they're lighter. So when we realize eating 3, 4, 5 bananas, you're stuffed. But really, we've got to allow the body to adjust to the digestion to expand. Then you will feel full, but you'll lean into it, and that will keep you through longer. So really monitor how much you're eating during the day. Eat more, don't restrict, eat in abundance, and I guarantee you're not going to overeat on the evening. Number 2 is to create a new habit. Generally, what we do is keep going back to what's familiar. What we have to do is break this cycle, break this habit, this non-serving habit of what we keep doing, which is binge eating excessively on the evenings. So if you've read the book, and I highly recommend you read it, The Power of Habits. I'm a big reader, as you all know. 20 minutes a day is 1 book a month, 12 books a year. Imagine your mind, imagine your thought processes when you read so much. And these give you great tools and nuggets that you can take away and implement. So one thing I did take away with me is how to break that cycle of a bad habit. So you can do it in various ways. Now, what Peter talks about is you have a trigger, you have a cue, and then a reward. So the trigger could be you being stressed at work, you get home, you just want to not think about creating anything healthy. You haven't been organized and put some nice healthy stuff in, but you just don't want it. You want to go back to what's familiar, do what you've always done, go to the comfort foods. So that could be ice cream. So the cue is eating the ice cream, and then the reward is the satisfaction, the numbing, the suppression that we often do with eating. And that's why we have so much issues around addictions and not feeling good enough and weight gain, is because we have these addictions. Now, what Peter does share is that if we can replace the cue, which is instead of the eating the ice cream, could you replace it with something else? Now, others have said replace the trigger. So it could mean you do something else, such as, which I do recommend when you get deeper on this journey of self-discovery, is start to really be in that uncomfortability. Like when we get home, when we're stressed, instead of reacting, going to something that is negative, such as eating that tub of ice cream, that junk food, could we replace the trigger? Could replace the reward, which is the satisfaction. You could condition yourself to think that the reward is not so high up on the reward scale, but that's not really strong enough. So Peter always shares about, replacing it with something else. So it's like with the smokers, they have that habit of consistently wanting to put something in the mouth. Could you put something else in your mouth that is healthier? So if you are eating a tub of ice cream, could you make a banana ice cream? Just ice cream, no additives. Personally, that works for so long, but there are times where it just doesn't quite itch that scratch, if you know what I'm saying. You'll stuff your face, feel rubbish. Yeah, you might feel numb and suppressed and you've escaped, but you just know it's not really, there's something deeper. There's something more. And that's why get to that actual trigger. What does trigger you? If we can sit in it by using meditation to allow us to just be present, to be still, we can allow to what's been hurting us, what's triggering us, and to heal that emotion. Allow these emotions to come up. They're not negative. They're human emotions that we need to feel, the whole spectrum of emotions. But we can dig deep on what's really triggering us. We can get to the root cause. So just to give you an example, I would often after work go to the supermarket, buy £50 worth of chocolate and cakes. I was so much into like the sweet and the fat. It was unbelievable the amount of food I would eat in a sitting in like 20 minutes, stuffing my face with 250 gram bars of fruit and nut in the car, reading skinny magazines. But I realized I was not fulfilled in my job. I worked at a health center. I liked it, but I knew I was destined for more. I knew I didn't want to be there. I didn't want to be in the city I was in. I wanted to travel. I loved to explore the world, and I didn't know how it was possible. So instead, what I did was when I had that trigger, I realized, so you could argue the cue was instead of eating the food, I would look at how I can work remotely, how I can eat healthily. So how I can nurture this pain. But really it was all to do with switching that trigger, not being reactive. The second was replacing it with other things. But the trigger allowed me to just sit in it and be still, realizing I'm not happy. I'm miserable. So it could be for you, you're in a miserable relationship. It's not nurturing. It's not fulfilling. It could be someone has hurt you in that day and really, really hurt your feelings, but you haven't expressed it. You haven't shared with your friend or someone that hurt you, or that there's a deeper inner core belief that what they've said has resonated. So we can dig deep on all this. And I do have coaching if you do want one-on-one, digging deep on these triggers, these emotions, and work on that healing. I feel that is the fast track to weight loss and your success. Number 3 is get yourself to bed earlier. When we've got a routine, we go to sleep earlier. We're going to get that deep state sleep. Generally, I would recommend between 9 and 10, if not earlier, so that between 10 and 2, you get that deep state sleep, which is the REM. High quality sleep. You're going to feel nourished, regenerate your cells, feel your best. But it also means that when you have this routine on an evening, because sometimes we don't have a routine, we don't have any structure, but when we know we're going to bed pretty at a reasonable time, a good time, you get up early the next day, you're focused, you're clear, you feel vibrant. Getting up between 5 and 6 a.m. encourages you to then go to bed early. So if you're coming home from work, think about, okay, I've got a few hours, I can eat a light snack, I don't even need to eat because I'm going to bed early. Set yourself up a nice ritual in the evening. I talk a lot about rituals and evening routines. I'm going to start sharing more of my evening routines. And I do mix it slightly, but generally I meditate, I read, and I get to bed early. So I highly recommend getting to sleep between 9 and 10 p.m. 10 p.m. latest, if possible, or at least on average during your week, and get up early. You're going to feel 10 times better. You're not going to have the desire to snack, because who wants heavy food before they go to bed? 3-4 hours before bed, really, to allow that digestion to get deep quality sleep and allow your body to regenerate without the full stomach feeling like a rock. And then I always feel the next day, I feel more sluggish, more groggy, groggy meaning sleepy, not feeling that good. I feel my best when I eat early in the day, 5, 6 p.m. maximum. The latest is when I stop eating. So yeah, get into that routine. You're going to see a huge change, a big difference, and you're going to keep that weight off all year round. I hope you like this video. Let me know your favorite takeaway. Share in the comments down below. Also, if you like this video, thumbs up. If you haven't already, subscribe and turn on the bell notification to be notified when the next videos are out and to support the channel. Be, feel, and stay Rawlicious.